Guys, welcome to another episode of Sergeant Roy's Pathfinders. Glad that you can make it. Let's go ahead and getting set up right here. I hope that you're doing well. A lot going on I understand there's a lot going on in the world today. And we're just going to go ahead and get this set up right here where you can kind of see me right here. Okay, good. All right, I know. welcome. This is Sergeant Roy's Pathfinders. And this is a platform, a podcast that I decided to go ahead and start to change my platform a little bit. A lot of you know me from intentional leadership, working on leadership skills and talking about leadership strategies for the military, nonprofit, commercial as well. But I decided to switch to a different platform, and that is to work with young people. A lot of you know that I do a lot of volunteer work in my spare time, working with teenagers and and just young people in general. And I love it. I love it because getting a chance to, number one, it gives me a chance to invest in their future. And I love to see young people really just kind of venture out. And lastly, it also gives me a chance to pay it forward. So I really enjoy it. So we are going to. This is the second broadcast that we did that we're doing today. We're going to be here every Sunday, 7:30 East Coast time, 6:30 Central time. And so I hope that you can bookmark this podcast for your son, your daughter, kids in your neighborhood, young people in general. I'm going to be addressing middle schoolers, high schoolers, folks that are young people that are in college, young people that are out on their own, people that have aspirations to join the military. So we're going to hit on different topics. So please pass it on, subscribe. Love to have you subscribe to the channel of this broadcast of Pathfinders. And I love it. I chose, like I said last week, I chose uh, Pathfinders because I feel that young people today are for looking for the path. They really are. They are really looking for the path on where they're going and what they're trying to ascribe to. So, but Pathfinders is a wonderful, platform that we use to kind of really coach these people, getting them to step into their own, challenge them, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, with that being said, let's just get right on to what we're going to talk about today. Well, I chose as a topic today was from a speech that was made pretty much in around, I guess it was 2014. It was done by Admiral William Raven. And he gave a commencement speech to the University of Texas at Austin, where he gave the speech about make your bed. And it was, you can Google it, go out there and find it. It's a great speech by William Raven, Raven. And in this speech, he uses symbolically the term of to make your bed. He talks about that. And it's so funny because in the military, if you young people talk to your aunt, your uncle, anyone that's been in the military, that is the first block of instruction that you get in the military is to make your bed. And he goes through this speech on how to not so much to make your bed, but he uses it as a symbolism. Okay, symbolism, just kind of a symbolism. He just worked a word picture, and he's talking about that if you make your bed, should be the very first task of your day is to make your bed. And when you make your bed, there's a couple of good things that comes along with it. It kind of sets the tone for your day. That's the first task that you completed of the day is by making your bed. And then when you come home at the end of the day, good, bad, or indifferent, you come back to a bed that's already made and you start and it's prepared for you to get into it and go to sleep and you're ready to start the next day. So young people, the thing I want to encourage you is to think about that. Now, I'm not gonna. This is not a session on how to clean your room. I'm not going to give you a lecture on cleaning your room and how you should take care of your house and your areas, common areas. But to make your bed, I want you to think about that. When you wake up every day, I want you to make your bed. Now, some of you may be already doing that, and you're doing that. That's fine. That's good. But I want you to kind of think about doing it, setting the tone for your day. Look at it as setting the tone for your day. I want you to make your bed because when you do that, you've already, you know, completed something positive for that day. Now, you may not have something, a bunch of things that are maybe going on that day, but at least for that day, you've made your bed and you're getting the habit of making your bed and taking care of your common areas. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay. And here on Pathfinders, I always choose a word of the day. And the word of the day that I chose for us this for today is purpose. We're going to talk about purpose. All right. Purpose is really important. Uh, and I want to give the definition of what purpose is so you know what we're talking about, young people. We're talking about the purpose is something set up as an object or end to be attained with intention. Okay. I'll say it again. Purpose is something that is set up as an object or an end to be attained, like a goal with intentions. You want to have do things on purpose. So I want to challenge you, young people, to start thinking about your purpose. Now I know we're living in a world today. One of the things that really worries me about you young people is that you spend a lot of times on video games. You spend a lot of time on technology, on the internet, Xbox, you know, all these different things that are out there. However, I want you to start thinking about how much these things can consume your time. Let me take these headphones off because it's really just irritating me. But these things can really take a lot of your time, take up a lot of your time. And you have to start thinking about investing in yourself. And I want you to start thinking about investing time. You got your week. There's 7 days a week, there's 24 hours a day. And I want you to start thinking about how can you, let's start with easy because we have a term in the military: crawl, walk, or run. Crawl, walk, or run. So we're gonna crawl right now. Okay. We're gonna crawl. And I want you to start thinking about 1 hour. Let's start with 1 hour each day of how can you invest that 1 hour? For my middle schoolers, right now you're on summer vacation. Get it? Summer vacation is, and you have a great time, and you're probably at the beach with your family, probably on vacation. Some of you, my middle schoolers, are still too young to work, but you're probably on vacationing with family and friends, and that's good. My high schoolers, you're probably working, probably got a job and work in the summers, put some money together. And then my college folks, you're the same thing. You're also probably working, getting ready for the upcoming school year. And then you young adults, you probably are working right now and trying to get something going on. But I want you to think about investing in yourself. 1 hour. If you can give it 1 hour a week and think about, I want you to take that 1 hour. What can you do with that 1 hour? Can you read a book? Can you start thinking about, like for my young people, you can start thinking about the upcoming school year. What you're going to start doing, get ready for this upcoming school year. Some of you are going to ninth grade, 10th grade. Uh, Not really much, but you can start maybe think about reading a book. Read a book over it. Make it a goal to read one book over the summer. Can you do that? Read a book. My high schoolers, you got high school coming back in, and I know some of you are athletes and stuff. I know my football players are getting ready for football and all of that, but maybe the summertime you're working all that. You may have time to think about maybe reading a book as well. My seniors, you're getting ready to. This is your last year of high school, and you need to start thinking about taking the SATs. Maybe start getting online and taking a couple of practice. There's a lot of practice SATs out there, ACTs out there. Start looking into that. Or there might be some of you that are thinking about joining the military. There's a lot of information out there of joining the military, and there's everything on the Army, on the Air Force, the Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force. There's a lot of information out there. But one of the things I can tell you right now, for those that are considering a career in the military, you have to take what we call a ASVAB test. Was it AVS, as, yeah, ASVAB. That's Army Scholastic Vocational Aptitude Test, something it stands for. They're good for all the branches. But there's some practice tests out there that you can get online and start practicing to take that exam. Some of you are not going to the military, but you're pursuing college. There's practice SAT test out there. You're going to have to take that test to go into college. There's no way of getting around it. And please do not think about winging it. I am your success coach. I'm Sergeant Roy, and I have really deemed myself or commissioned myself to be your success coach. And I'm not going to steer you wrong. These are things that you're going to have to get ready if you want to be successful. So maybe think about taking some of those practice tests out there, because young folks, okay, you young folks out there, summertime will go by just like that. We're already in June. And before you know it, we are just in the mid June right now. We're in the middle of June, and you got July, and then all of a sudden you'll be back in school again. So you got to start thinking about these things. This is where we start being intentional, investing in our time. This is what I want to start to get you along those lines, thinking about that. But let me employ 5 questions. I want to ask you 5 questions. Now, I didn't forget that I asked you last week that you write down 10 things that you might want to do, 10 things that goals that you think you write. I didn't forget about that. So I didn't see anything in my email box from anyone. So I'm hoping that I have not forgotten about that, but I hope that you can send that there. I'm going to put my email address up on the screen for you. And if you can't see it, it's at sgtroy@hotmail.com. And you can usually get me there. Let's go. I'll put that up there on the screen for you. Okay. And there's my Hotmail address. You can reach me there. And I'll be more than glad to look over those with you. So there's my email address. If you can't see it on the screen, I will save this broadcast so you can look at it later on. Okay. You see everything right there. Okay. It's at sergeantroy@hotmail.com. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you 5 significant questions because, again, the objective of this podcast is to get you thinking along the lines to start building a plan for your success. Now, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody does. Because young folks, you are not going to be young very long. You're not going to be a teenager for the rest of your life. You're not going to be a high schooler. You're not going to be in college, a young person all your life. And these hard things are going to come at you, and you have to have answers ready for that. You need to start thinking about that. So let's look at some of these questions. And I noticed that I'm also broadcasting from another platform. I'm putting questions up on the screen. Those that are watching on YouTube, I know you can't see it. I'll somehow get it up there for you. Let's look at the first question. I want to ask you is that the first question is, why am I here? Why are you here? Why are you here? You should ask yourself, why am I here? And I think that's a significant question because everybody wants to feel that they matter, that life matters to them. I don't believe that people are put on this planet just to suck up air and just suck up resources. You were here for a purpose. I truly believe that God has created you with a purpose. You were created for a reason. And you, I believe, not only when you created, I think you were created with significant talents and resources, abilities, and I think that your life means something. And I know sometimes it can be overwhelming because one of the things we do a lot as young people, you do a lot of comparison or comparing, not comparison, but you use a lot of comparisons. But comparison is the killer of joy. And what are you saying, Sergeant Roy? I'm just saying that you don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Let's find out what you like to do. And I want to start with that first question. Why are you here? And you don't have to answer that now, but I want you to write that down and ask yourself, why are you here? Write that down and think about it. Think about it and then fill that in. Okay. Let's look at the next question I want to ask you. And I want to ask you, what are your values? What are your values? And some of you are going like, what do you mean values? Well, there's some things like, for instance, like some of you value love, some of you value friendship, some of you value honesty, loyalty. Uh, those are good values to have. And I want you to think about those. Those are good values. Those are the kind of things that you're going to build your reputation on. You're going to build your credibility on. Because if you believe in honesty, that's a great value. So that's going to show up in your work. That's going to show up. And when you go out there and you start putting your plan together, building your path to your success, honesty is a good character trait. It's a good value because you're going to start expecting that from people that you're going to be working with. Honesty. You don't want to work with dishonest people, right? All right. Another value is respect. That's another great value. If you value respect, trust me, you'll get respect shown to you as well. I call it my boomerang theory. Yeah, what you throw out will come back to you. That's another great value. So, so I've asked you first question, why am I here? Write that down. And then the second question I ask you, what are your values? Okay, write that down. All right. Let me ask you another question. Another question I want to ask you is, what do you enjoy doing? I know when young people get together, and you always get your grandmother, or your uncle, or your aunt, they're asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if you were like me when I was a kid, you had this deer caught in the headlight look because I you didn't know. That question just seems so big at the time for a young person. But the way you break it down is you ask yourself, what do you like doing? Now, like for instance, some of you like working, some of you like putting things together. You like building things. Some of you like solving problems. Some of you like to be challenged. Like some of you are really good at fixing things and stuff like that. Different talents that you never knew. You just gotta have to kind of search through your mind and find out what are the things that you like doing. Some of you are really good at decorating. Some of you are really good at planning things. Those are good traits. Don't dismiss those. So you need to write that down and ask yourself, what do I like doing? Write those things down, and those could be skill sets. Believe it or not, I'll show you later on as we go through this podcast that those are possible skill sets that you have there. Okay, so I asked you, earlier, pretty much. I asked you why you're here, what are your values, and what do you like doing. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a fourth question. Okay. And maybe this is kind of a little bit easy for some of you. It's called, what are you naturally good at? Okay. What are you naturally good at? And I know that when I was younger, for some reason, I was really good at saving money. Let me give you an example. My nephew that just graduated uh, high school, he is naturally good at saving money. So good at saving money that he was able to save up money to buy him a car with and paid for it with cash. He didn't have to use any credit cards, didn't have to use any loans. He's just when he was younger, he was just very good at with money, just saved money. He worked jobs all through high school. And when he graduated this year, he went to the dealership. His dad brought him to the dealership and he bought a full car. And that is a wonderful trait. That he might, I don't know if he has if he wants to go into finance, if he wants to be an accountant, if he wants to handle his own business, but however, that little skill that he has will generate a career. So I want you to think about, what are you naturally good at? Some of you are naturally good at organizing things. Some of you are very good at uh, planning things, fixing things. Those are skills. I want you to think about that, because don't dismiss that. Those are real things. Okay, so we talked about, I asked you pretty much, why are you here? What are your values? What do you enjoy doing? Uh, and I asked you, what are you naturally good at? Well, let me ask you, and with this last question, with that all being said, what is the impact that you want to make in life? Think about that. What is the impact? In other words, young people, that when your life is over, what is it that you want people to say about you? Do you want people to say, "Oh man, he or she made a great impact. She motivated people. She was able to run a successful business," or he's very good. He's very kind. He's able to encourage people. He was able to lead a team. What are the things that you want people to say about you? What do you want them to say when it's all said and done? And that's not easily answered either too as quickly. So I want you to write those questions down, and I want you to kind of send me, my email address, like I said, is up there for you to list out. There's my email address. I'll somehow get it on the screen. SergeantRoy@hotmail.com. And send me your entries to that email address. Now, I am so excited about this platform because I really want to see you do well. We're going to have conversations, because I know some of you, I want to see you go to college. Some of you, I want to see you join the military. Some of you, I want to see you start your own business. And some of you saying, "Well, Sergeant Roy, I, I don't have much, or I come from a family that doesn't have a lot, or uh, I don't have the money or resources." Hey, I'm going to show you that you could be anything you want in this world if you have the desire to do that. But we have to find the path. We've got to sit back and talk about these things. My high schoolers, you are 1 to 2 years away from graduating high school. And it's time for you to start thinking about those things, because now the world is becoming so complicated. It really is. The world is becoming very, very complicated. And now with the institution of AI, there's so many things that are just going on. A lot of the jobs are going to change now. Some of the jobs that were done by hand on hand are going to be done by just AI. But now it doesn't mean there won't be jobs out there. There will be just different jobs, and you need to be ready. Those are thinking about joining the military. I think I'm a big fan of the military. That's where I got my computer skills from. If you don't want to go to college, the military has a great training program. They have different jobs in the military that you can do. Also, at the same time, there's a savings plan. You can go to college while you're in the military. And the third option, there is a option where they have a savings plan where I don't remember what it was when I was in, but for every dollar you put in, the government puts in 6 or 7, $8 to match as a match to your savings plan. So there are some many great opportunities. And then there's another opportunity that we didn't talk about: trade school. Some of you are very good. If you college not your thing, but you're good into auto mechanics. You're into electrician, to be an electrician. I know my daughter. My daughter didn't go to college, but she went to school for cosmetology, and she started her own business. My daughter has her own hair salon, her own business, and she I didn't even see that coming, but she's a business owner. And her husband is also a business owner. Starting your own business is a great way to start in this country. So there are so many different ways, but I want to show up every week as your success coach and walk you through these steps that you have to take to be successful. Because nothing just grieves my heart when I see young people sit back and they just let life slip away. No one's going to come and get you. No one is going to sit back and take you and walk these steps with you. But I guarantee you, I promise you that if you take the initiative to dive in, and I'm always my code word is, are you tracking? Are you tracking? You got to be tracking because these opportunities are out there for you. Only if you're going to go get them. They're out there. And a great example of that is we see these people that come into our countries from other countries. These people that come from other countries where they don't have these opportunities. That's why you see people from the Middle East, people from African countries, and people from Europe. They come over here and they start a restaurant or they start a grocery store, and they're doing very, very well because they don't have those opportunities over in their country like we do here. But for you, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. And I'm excited about this platform. I'm excited about this platform. And that's why the word of the day is purpose. The word of the day is purpose. And I want you to have purpose for everything that you do. I want you to have purpose and be driven by purpose, by what you want to do and how you want to shape it up. You are not a victim. By no means you are a victim. That by no means you are at the you just kind of have to suffer at the realms of society, what everybody gives you, whatever sort of life gives you. No, you're smart, you're talented, and you're gifted, but you have to kind of get engaged. You're going to have to get engaged. And I've committed myself, and I'm going to keep this podcast going as long as I can to ensure that you make those good choices. So, all right. So let's just go over a recap. We're getting ready to wrap up here. Is that I asked you, we talked about purpose today, and I asked you 5 questions. I started off with a scenario of to make your bed. All right. I want you to make your bed every morning. Start out every day. Make your bed. I don't care if you have any place to go to, make your bed. And then I asked you 5 significant questions. I asked you to ask yourself, write it down on a piece of paper. Why? Ask yourself, why am I here? You want to ask, what are my values? Then you want to ask yourself, what do I really enjoy doing? And then also you want to ask, what am I naturally good at? Let's start examining some of the things that you're naturally good at. You may not, if you just give it some thought and think about it, you're just naturally good at it. And then also think about the impact that you want to have on you in your world, on you in your community, and well, how do you want people to see you? What's the impact? Okay, okay, that's great. And again, if you're watching this podcast, please subscribe. Please sign up and subscribe to this channel because I want to get this thing up and running, and I want to be. Uh, that's my goal. That's my goal, to sit there and invest in you young people. So if you're in high school, subscribe. If you're in college, subscribe. If you're a young person that's getting ready to graduate in 1 or 2 years, subscribe to it. Even my little young ones in middle school, subscribe. Book, it doesn't cost you anything. This is all free. I don't get paid for doing this. I'm not getting any grants or anything. I do this because I want to see you do well. Right? That's good. So I'm hoping that everything will work out well for you. You hang in there. I'm Sergeant Roy. I'm your success coach, and I look forward to being there for you because I want to help you find that path. You're a pathfinder. We're going to find your path for success. Take care.